So we've built up all the tools we need to add and subtract fractions, and that's what we're going to do in this video. And there's a few things to think about. To start with, if you have a common denominator, a over c plus b over c, well, you just add the numerators and you keep the denominator. And it's the same thing with subtraction. If you have a common denominator, there's really not much to do. Once you're done, you have to make sure you simplify. Other than that, that's it. So these follow all the same rules as signed numbers. So when we're adding and subtracting positives, same rules apply with integers. Let's do a couple quick examples with a common denominator. Let's see, let's do 3/4 plus 1/4. I want to get a 3 plus 1 all over 4, and that's 4 over 4. That's 1. So pretty straightforward, right? And it's the same thing with subtraction. If I have 7/5 minus, let's see, 3/5, I get 7 minus 3, all divided by 5, and that's 4/5. So sometimes we get to simplify, sometimes it's not needed. Let's look at an example where we don't have a common denominator. Let's try 8/9 plus, let's see here, 5/6. Okay, so 8/9 and 5/6, we do not have a common denominator there. The LCD is 18 because 9 goes into 18 and 6 goes into 18, both evenly, and that's the smallest number that works. So I have to convert these. So what I'm going to do, I have 8/9, and I'm going to multiply that by 2 over 2 because I need to make my denominator into an 18. 5/6 times 3 over 3. Again, 3 times 6 is 18. I want 18 in the denominator. So whatever I multiply the bottom by, I multiply the top by. And 16/18 and 15/18 is 31/18. I can subtract those. 8/9 minus 5/6, yeah, 5/6. And that's going to be 8 over 9 times 2 over 2 minus 5/6 times 3 over 3. And I'm going to get 16/18 minus 15/18. And that's 1/18. So when we're dealing with mixed numbers, it's useful to think about converting. If I were to subtract 2 and 1, or well, I would take 2 and 1/4 minus 1 and 5/8. So I don't have a common denominator, and it's a lot easier a lot of times to convert these to improper fractions. So 2 times 4 is 1. I'm sorry, 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So there's 9/8. And I'm going to subtract 1 times 8 is 8, so 13. Oh, I made a mistake there. That's 9/4. I apologize. I do not know. Well, I do know I did that, but it was a mistake. So backpedaling a little bit, I have 9/4 minus 13/8. I'm sorry for that mistake, but I'm going to leave that in the video because I think it's important that you guys recognize that it's easy to make a small mistake like that. So now what do I do? Well, I need a common denominator, and my LCD here is 8. So working through this, 9/4, I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. I'm going to subtract 13/8. That doesn't need anything because it already has the LCD in the denominator. So I get 18/8 minus 13/8. That gives me 5/8. And that's fully simplified. I don't really need to do too much more with that. Let's do one more example that tends to frustrate students. And that's if you have a whole number. Let's take 5 and subtract 3.5. And for whatever reason, since there's no fraction with the 5, it throws some people for a loop. But what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly what we did in the previous example. I'm going to turn things into improper fractions. I'm going to find my common denominator, which is just 2. I get 3/2. And that's pretty much all there is to that. I mean, sometimes the numbers get more complicated, but the idea is still the same. You need a common denominator whenever adding or subtracting fractions. And we're going to move on to order of operations in the next video. And that will conclude the basics.